Gentlemen, ladies, good afternoon. My minister's press, Brazilian people who watch me. I knew it wouldn't be easy. It is one thing to admire a person. The other is to live with it, work with it. This morning, coincidentally, having coffee with some parliament, I told them, today you will meet that person who has a commitment to himself, to his ego, and not to Brazil. What I have at my side, and always have, was the Brazilian people. Today, that person is looking for a way to put a wedge between me and the Brazilian people. This happened a few hours ago. A brief history: we all know Mr. Sergio Moro from his decisions at the Federal Court of Curitiba. Lava Jato already existed, but no one denies its brilliant work. Personally, I had my first contact with Mr. Sergio Moro on March 30, 2017, at Brasilia Airport, where he was standing in a cafeteria and I went to greet him. He pretty much ignored me. The whole press reported this, giving my person discredit. I confess I was sad, because he was an idol to me. I was just a deputy, humble deputy, as is or how are most of those in the Brazilian parliament. I won't say that I was lying, but I was very sad. Tell ex-minister Sergio Moro, as you said today in your press conference 3 times. You said that you had a biography to watch over. I tell you that I have a Brazil to watch over. In the life of President of the Republic, I have 3 corporate cards. 2 are used for expenses as varied as possible. After all, more than 100 people are in my safety every day. Household expenses, normal. And a 3rd card which I can withdraw $24,000 per month without being accountable. I can withdraw $24,000 and spend it wherever I want without accountability. How much have I used this money since January last year? 0. This is an obligation. I turned off the Alvorada Olympic pool. We changed the menu. But this has nothing to do. It is my obligation. But just to remember that I am concerned with the public thing and I try to set an example. Yesterday, I talked to Mr. Sergio Moro, just me and him, as most of the time, in our conversations. Well, I always opened my heart to him. I doubt if he always opened his heart to me. I have always said my ministers, trust must be two-way. Another thing, it is demoralizing for the president to hear that. More so to externalize. Or not to change, because it was not changed, to suggest the exchange of 2 superintendents among 27. The one in Rio for the question of the porter, the question of my son 04, Renan, who is now 21 years old. When, in the clamor of the matter of the porter, in the Adlio case that the 2 ex-policemen would have gone to talk to me, it also appeared that my son 04 would have dated the daughter of this ex-sergeant. I started to chase. First I called my son and said, open the game. Dad, I went out with half the condo. I don't even remember who this girl is, if I was with her. Today life is like that. The intention of saying that my son was dating the ex-sergeant's daughter was that we had a family relationship. I didn't remember. It may even be that I took a picture with him during the pre-campaign. It was common for me to take an average of 500 photographs a day, because that was my press. And then I made a request to the federal police, almost as please. Arrive in Mossoró and interrogate the ex-sergeant. They went there, the PF did a job, interrogated, and the copy of the interrogation is with me, where he simply says the following: my daughter never dated the son of President Jair Bolsonaro because my daughter always lived in the United States. But do I have to run after this? Or is it the minister, the federal police who have to be interested? Or is it to shield me because I am not involved in any crime? The media, other institutions, already turned me upside down, shook everything. They even, at the age of 5, the F4 magazine, I called a fat woman in El Dorado Paulista. They found out, and I didn't even know, that my wife's mother had already been arrested for 3 years for drug trafficking. I confess I didn't know, and if I did I would have married Mrs. Michelle anyway. I also heard from you that Mrs. Michelle's mother committed They found out, and I didn't even know if her mother had already been arrested for 3 years for drug trafficking. I confess I didn't know, and if I did I would have married Mrs. Michelle anyway. I also heard from you that Mrs. Michelle's mother committed a crime of falsehood. In her innocence, instead of having plastic surgery to look younger, prettier, she decided to have surgery on her birth certificate, decreasing her age by 10 years. That was her crime. This is put in public to say that she has no character. Now I regret that the person who had to defend legal framework does not. There was indeed a heavy climate for the minister at the last meeting of ministers, where I demanded of him, in front of all the other ministers, that he take a position on the prison and handcuffs used against women on the beach. Sorry, minister, you are not going to call me a liar. There is no more serious charge for a man like me, military Christian President of the Republic, to be accused of this. Not accept my authority faced by any minister. As well as respect for everyone, I expect the same behavior. Trust is a two-way street. I will remain faithful to all Brazilians. I will continue to fight corruption, criminal organizations, and work to reduce crime. The government continues. The government cannot lose its authority for the personal reasons of someone who is anticipating other projects. I fight the good fight.